Well, moving on to news overseas, supporters of deposed Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi are trapped in a mosque near Cairo's Ramses Square as military and police forces keep the area surrounded.
Well, at least 95 people were killed in Ramses Square when security forces fired on protesters trying to stage what they called Day of Rage, marchers against the military-led government. Now, News First, Zulfiq Farzan filed this report.
Security forces have entered the mosque where the supporters are holed up to negotiate with the Islamist protesters to persuade them to leave. Earlier in the day, Egyptian state television broadcasted footage showing security forces in white gear on the steps outside the mosque. Security officials quoted by the news agency said that armed elements had opened fire from inside the mosque. Violence erupted across Egypt again yesterday after the Muslim Brotherhood and other groups under the banner of the Anti-Coup Alliance called for protests in defiance of a security crackdown on pro-Morsi sit-ins that left more than 600 dead since Wednesday. The Egyptian police have arrested over 1,000 Muslim Brotherhood supporters yesterday. The Fateh Mosque has been turned into both a morgue and a field hospital by Morsi supporters. The Muslim Brotherhood has now called for a week of protests across the country after the latest deaths.
Meanwhile, the country's interim Prime Minister has proposed legally dissolving the Muslim Brotherhood, which has been demanding that the ousted President Mohamed Morsi be reinstated.
Now, over in the Philippines, at least 31 people have died and around 170 people are missing after a ferry with 900 people on board sank near the central Philippine coast of Cebu. Officials said that a vessel collided with a domestic cargo ship last night en route for Manila. Local media reported some 690 people have been rescued from the waters by dozens of fishing boats that rushed to the area. A Coast Guard officer said that the captain of the ferry ordered the ship be abandoned after it began listing and sank after hitting the cargo vessel. Accidents at sea are common in the Philippines because of frequent storms, badly maintained boats and weak enforcement of safety regulations.
News First, Sri Lanka's premier news provider, brings you a world news roundup from the BBC 6 times a day. For the latest news from around the world, join News First and the BBC in partnership right here on Yes FM.
And in sports news, Danidu Abesekar established a national record in the women's 48kg weight class category in weightlifting.
Well, she achieved this feat at the Asian Youth Championships taking place in China. Now, she lifted a weight of 75 kilograms in the clean and jerk method.
The Central Province team grabbed the Champions Trophy at the finals of the Sri Lanka's Cricket Super 4's T20 series played against the Western Province team at the R. Premdasa Stadium today.
Winning the toss and batting first, the Western Province team posted 109 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the allotted 20 overs. The Western Province, who commenced the match with openers Dilshan Munawira and Gihan Rupasinghe, got off to an inauspicious start as they were dismissed in quick succession. The captain of the Western Province team, Angela Matthews, posted 53 runs. T.N. Sampath scored 14 runs for the team. Nuwan Kulasekara bagged 3 wickets for 19 runs for the Central Province. Chasing a target of 110 runs, Upul Tharanga and Thilina Kandambi opened the innings for the Central Province team. Kandambi's stay at the crease was limited to just 17 runs as he was undone by Matthews. Kumar Sangakkara then arrived at the crease and together with Tharanga put on a second wicket stand of 30 runs. Tharanga scored 32 runs before falling victim to the bowling of Isuru Udana. Sangakkara scored 21 runs and Kaushal Lokwarachi scored 26 runs. The top scorer for the Central Province team was Upul Tharanga, scoring 32 runs. The Central Province scored 113 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in 17 overs to win the match.
Meanwhile, Sri Lankan-born Ramdika Kure did her motherland proud recently when she won not one but 2 gold medals at the World Dwarf Games held recently.
Well, Sports First caught up with Ramdika in London via Skype to find out more about her experiences and achievements. Mahina Bongso reports.
The World Dwarf Games, organized this year by the Dwarf Athletic Association of America, were held from the 3rd to the 10th of this month in Michigan, USA for the 6th time. 400 competitors from 17 countries battled it out for top honors at the largest sporting event in history, exclusively for athletes with dwarfism. Ramdika Kure, who took up sports just 4 years ago, was the first athlete to represent Sri Lanka at the World Dwarf Games, and she said the feeling was overwhelming. Ramdika competed in badminton, boccia and 100 meters at the World Dwarf Games, where she won gold in both badminton and boccia.
So my final match was against Deirdre Nagle, and she was a Great Britain athlete. And each time I play with her, I lose. So this was the first time that I beat her as well. So that in itself was a big achievement for me. I beat her with a very close match, and it was a very close match, I would say, and got the gold medal in the whole competition in badminton.
A past pupil of Holy Family Convent Bumblepitia, 27-year-old Ramdika Kure, has been residing in England for the past 6.5 years. Ramdika says that she has never forgotten her roots and worked tirelessly to represent Sri Lanka at the World Dwarf Games. Incidentally, Ramdika bagged a bronze medal for Sri Lanka in the 100 meters at the 2009 World Dwarf Games.
I remember watching my friends compete and winning gold medals. I never thought that I could take up sports seriously, because I was always told that I'm the slower one and that I can't do it. After joining the Dwarf Sports Association in the UK in early 2009, they mentioned to me about the possibility of competing for the World Dwarf Games. I was interested right away because I loved competing and I loved sports. Without hesitation, I really wanted to represent Sri Lanka. I thought this was my chance to contribute in a little way to the society, to change the perception about disability and special needs.
This will not be the last time Ramdika will be seen at the World Dwarf Games, as this courageous athlete says she will compete in the 2017 Games as well.
Well, that's a wrap from the News First team for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudarnaika.
And I'm Shah Jarang Fati. Good night and sleep.
Hotline 0114